Tashi Dele Kukamsang, I am Julika, Kama children, and today I am going to explain to you the meaning of probably the most important prayer in Tibetan Buddhism, which is the Refuge prayer. The Refuge prayer is something that all Tibetan Buddhist lineages recite at the beginning of a practice, whether it's a meditation or whether it's some kind of chanted practice or a mantra practice. So I'm going to explain to you in this video what exactly is the meaning of the words of this prayer. So you're going to learn a few basic Buddhist terms, and finally you will know the meaning word by word for this prayer. So I ask you to please have a paper, pen and paper by hand, or have the Refuge prayer at hand. I have a link below this video where you can print it out if you don't have it yet. So I'm going to go through word by word, okay? And maybe some of you will be able to read the Tibetan letters, else you have the transliteration in English here already with the translation. But of course the translation does not reveal exactly what meaning, like Buddha, where is it in the Tibetan text, right? So let's start. We have, first of all, the first two syllables. One syllable is always marked by the tsek in between two syllables. So here we have the first two syllables that are reading Sangye. Sangye. Sangye is the Buddha. Okay, so what I normally like to do is to write above the Tibetan terms the meaning. So you can write here Buddha. Okay, you can write there Buddha, or you can write above here if you read Tibetan. So Sangye is the Buddha, the one who woke up, who purified all waste, all ignorance, anything that hinders the mind from recognizing its own Buddha nature. That's Sang, this cleaning, this waking up. And Gye is the unfolding, the manifesting of all our most innate qualities or our most innate potential. That's Gye. So Sangye is the Buddha who has woken up from ignorance and who has integrated or unfolded all his qualities. And then we go to Chö. Chö is the Dharma, okay? So Chö can mean also phenomenon or phenomena. However, here it's the Dharma that the Buddha taught. So that's Chö, Chö. Then we have Tang. Well, Tang, of course, is a very easy syllable. You will hear it also in colloquial Tibetan. Tang means and, just and. So you can write and here above the Tang or the Tang. Then we have Tsog. So Tsog is assembly or gathering. Okay, that's Tsog. And Ki is a particle. It's a genitive particle that shows ownership of something or belonging of something. So it is normally a connector between two words. So to show a connection between these two. So now we have Chok that's connected to Tsog. Chok means supreme. So you have the supreme of assemblies. That is a synonym for the Sangha. Okay, so here in translation we see the literal translation, the supreme assembly. That's the Sangha. Okay, because here we are taking refuge to the three jewels. Yes, to the three jewels. So Buddha, Dharma, and the supreme of assemblies, which is the Sangha. And then we have Nam. Nam is a so-called plural marker. A plural marker is making the plural, of course, or also grouping something together. Here it's really grouping the three refuges, the three jewels together. So Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. These, La, two. La is a preposition. And in Tibetan grammar, it is actually a case. However, I'm not going into that. This carries the meaning of three important prepositions that we use with la, that we in English are translated as in, or to, or for, la. Here it is to. Okay, here it says to. So to these three, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, then it continues and goes Jangjup. Jangjup is enlightenment. Jangjup. Pardu means until. And then it says Dag. Dag is the humilific pronoun for I. So because in a prayer we have a humilific form of saying I, because we are praying to something that is more evoluted or something that we are having devotion towards. So I humble me, so I, and then me is an emphasizing particle that has no particular meaning here. It's just filling a certain meter, because a verse always has to have a certain meter so that there is a rhythm to it. So ni is kind of emphasizing that I am the one who takes refuge, but it does not have particular meaning. It is normally also not translated in English. So I kyap su chi. Kyap su chi. Kyap means refuge, and su is again a particle, su. Chi means to go, and go for. So this is again a particle, su. It's like the la particle has the same meaning. It can mean to, for, or in. So I go for refuge. Okay? So all in all, as you can see, the verb is at the end in the Tibetan sentence. And if I go through it one more time, one by one, then we have the translation would be Bodha, Dharma, and Assembly Supreme of to these enlightenment until I refuge forego. So of course it is a very different sentence order than we have in English, and I'm going to continue with the second bit in a moment. And if you have any questions, of course drop them in the comment section below and maybe we can discuss. The second part of this prayer starts with the third line. So we have one verse here. All in all, it's together one verse. One verse in the Tibetan meter. It's taken from the Sanskrit, by the way, the Sanskrit poetry. And one verse always has 4 lines, okay? So now we have spoken about the first 2 lines, and as in English we have a full stop, shows us that we have one sentence. In the Tibetan it's the same, and now we go to the second sentence. All right, so ready to go? Pen and paper still there? Wonderful, okay. Dag, we already saw what was dag, yes? Told you before. It is the humilific pronoun for first person, I, dag. By the way, there is no humilific pronoun for other people, but for the first person there is, dag, so I. Ki, it's actually an agentive. Here we have a little spelling mistake in the Tibetan. There should also be a suffix, sa, which is an agentive, showing who is doing an action. So I am the one who does something here, but we will know a little bit later what that is. So then we have jin. Jin is generosity. It's the short version of jinpa. So jin, and then sok means etc. and so on and so forth. So this jin sok is actually saying generosity and so forth. So I'm the one who's doing. In brackets we could add practicing, generosity and so forth. So these so forth includes the paramitas. Okay, so through the practices of generosity and the other paramitas, gipe. Gipe means to have done. It's a verb. To have done, and then we have sönam, merit. So I have practiced generosity and so forth. So here we have the practice, have done. The practice of generosity and so forth. The merit, ki, with. So in a more fluid form, what it's saying is, through the merit, I have practiced with generosity and so forth. Here, dro means drowa. There's a short version for drowa, which are sentient beings, the migrators, those who walk around, roam around, because drowa means actually the ones who walk around, who roam around. And that's a word, a synonym for sentient beings. There are different words, and this is one that's used a lot, drowa. So dro, sentient beings, la, again the particle la. four. Here it's the meaning of four. So 4 sentient beings, and then it says pen. Pen means benefit. And cheer is another word that says for, also for. So for the benefit, 4 sentient beings basically. Then Sangye again. Sangye was, right, you got it, Buddha. And then Drupar. Drupar means to accomplish. Drupa is a verb and Drupar makes it to accomplish. That's a particle. Drupar, to accomplish, sho, may. This is expressing the wish, the imperative wish. May it be so. So all in all, what may happen here? It's saying in the last line, for the benefit of sentient beings, Buddha realize may. So, may I, in a more fluid way, it is saying, may I realize Buddhahood for the sake or benefit of sentient beings. And then you ask yourself, but how am I going to do that? And this is what this line is expressing. It's saying through the practices of generosity and so forth, and the merit that arises out of those. So through all of that, through the merit that I have practiced by practicing generosity and so forth, may I, for the benefit of beings, Buddha become. As you can see, the Tibetan language has a very different way of how it's being structured, which is why people like me study classical Tibetan, which contains all the study of grammar and the use of these particles and then the order of the words. So it is very different, and if you translate it just like word by word, it might sound strange, but it is good to know the words so that every time when you repeat or recite your prayer and you have your little translation over the words, every time you read it, you will remember again and again, that Sangye means Buddha, Che means Dharma. That's how I learned a lot, doing like that, because it's also something that as you are practicing it every day, it's like something like you can relate to, it's not something that's just up in the air, but it is part of your daily life. If you have also requests for videos, I'm very happy to receive them, and remember to make a donation so that I can actually, with my team, work on your requests. And I really look forward to hear your feedback on this, and if it was helpful, share it with your friends, and thank you so much for watching. Tu Jeche Jeljong.